pick part of the game. Doministers Extra on the blue side and Ninjustice on the red side.
Cool. So in these early stages, obviously bans, a lot of people, I mean, I'm still not Diamond yet, so I know that for a lot of us, we don't actually get to experience that ban stage. So utilizing the drafting stage in a lot of MOBAs is extremely important. It can literally sway the game. A lot of teams can win the game just in the draft phase. We've seen the Charging ban coming out for Doministas, and Ninjustice now hovering at Violet. Violet often banned out in the EU region as well. Very strong marksman.
Here almost 70% ban. Oh, they banned Butterfly instead.
That's going to be an instant Violet pickup then. Yep, there we go. Going with the punish talent as well by the looks of it. Again, pretty meta as far as standard thing. You can either develop that into the Frostbite, or you can simply just keep it as punish and utilize it to kind of take smaller creeps in the jungle or secure objectives in the later game and get that sort of early advantage. But
they switch out to Batman.
Wow, so that's brave, because Ninjustice now, they managed to get away with not having to ban Violet, and they managed to secure Violet. So that's a really big pickup for them, especially with that Xennial that you've been talking so highly of, and we've seen played to such great effect so far. So this is a really big sway for Ninjustice. It was a brave, a bold move to ban out Butterfly. It left the final open, but by not securing that Violet for Doministas, they've left themselves kind of vulnerable here. Yeah, for sure. Malok's coming in by the looks of it. We obviously have that Batman secured. Batman, very strong jungler, very strong ganks in the early game. If you're going to go against the Batman, you tend to want to kind of diminish his early game, avoid, try to steal as much jungle as possible, because in the late game he will drop off if he doesn't secure that sort of early snowballing effect. And into people like Xennial's going to be so great at trying to stop that. He's got so much
HP.
HP and disengage and protection for his carry that Batman's going to have a real problem with that potentially. We have then since seen Ormar and Malok locked in for Doministas, and Raz and Scud picked up for Ninjustice. I mean, how are you feeling about these picks so far?
I think Ninjustice have the better pick so far, but Doministas Extra is missing a marksman in my opinion, so that could come back to bite them. I'm not too keen about not having a marksman in my team, but is that a norm for you?
No, it is not. In fact, I think this would be where you normally go. Things that appear on your screen are lol troll Jinnar or lol troll Ormar. But obviously these guys are an experienced team. They are communicating with each other, so they're all on the same page, and if they're not picking a marksman, there's probably a good reason for it. They do have an extremely melee heavy team, because even Jinnar has to get in very close to utilize his ultimate, but what they also have is huge AoE engage. Between the Ormar, Jinnar, Malok and Tara, they have absolutely insane AoE damage and lock up. If their team fight in the late game is going to be extremely strong, and also there's very few good picks for Grak. If Grak grabs if Grak grabs Malok or Ormar or Jinnar even potentially, that could lead to disaster for his team. Batman is probably going to be his greatest pick, but then Batman, is going to be hiding in the back line behind the rest of his team. And you put a Jinnar into a team that can't burst him down quick enough, and he utilizes that ultimate. With an Ormar jumping on you and a Malok coming down, it's going to be disaster. So I think it's actually a surprisingly strong composition. I would have probably swapped out the Tara for a marksman. Do you guys have Telanus?
No.
No. Okay. And you don't have Joker either, do you?
No, we have Fennec. Slims are the most popular marksman in the game.
Yeah, I mean Fennec is a great. The early poke in lane is pretty insane from Fennec. So potentially a Fennec pickup would have worked great there. To be fair, Fennec pickup would have worked for their overall team strategy as well, because of his AoE ultimate. Yeah. So I think he probably, I think they're missing out there. I think by putting Tara in, Tara, I think is the weak pick there. I'm not saying she's going to be a weak player or not do well in this game, but I think of that composition, they could have easily swapped out for a Fennec, got themselves a marksman, and secured another AOE ultimate.
Yeah. So I do think that the Tara pick could have been something else as well. Like I said, I don't really like a team composition without a marksman. Someone mentioned on Twitch that this is the kind of dive combo. So yeah, it does make sense that it's a dive combo. But you are looking at Ninjustice playing with Raz, playing with Violet, and Grug as well. They have the range capability. It could be very, very dangerous for DA.
Yeah, in the early stages here, Ninjustice staying close together and staying grouped, hoping to get a potential pick from the Greg. Does miss, unfortunately, with that Devil's Chain, but that could have been disaster there for Jinnar in the early stages. Floydie on that Jinnar there. We do see people go into their respective lanes. Scud and Tara trading out a little bit over the vision there. I've heard it called a seagull out of jokiness because it's an eagle. It's an eagle that allows you to see. I like to refer to it as that on my stream, but I don't know what the official title is, so we'll just call it over the vision right now.
I think that there isn't any official name to it, so people just call it the bird or the vision, or the scout.
Oh, great play there by Greg in picking that up and stealing it away. Although he is in on his own, great play followed up by disaster. Forced the flicker over the wall. He does have Zinio there, uses the heal, so it's going to cost another heal, but I don't think he's going to get away. Slow from Malok does allow for the pickup there. Batarang is going to secure the kill, and they put it onto the right person as well. You saw there the Malok backing off, making sure the Batarang did pick up the kill there to give that Batman the early kill there. First blood, I believe, was already secured.
Yeah, it was already secured at the top by Scud, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Scud and Violet, meanwhile, were in the top lane, and managed to pick up an early kill there. So 1 for 1 at this early stage. You can see that the gold is pretty even. It will be an objective sort of based game, and in these early stages...
Zenfora getting a lot of trouble here. Batman chasing her, and Jetman might be able to get her.
One Batarang. He doesn't even need the Batarang. Forearm strike does secure it, but he's now in a vulnerable position. Is going to be picked up. Oh, that's huge damage onto Nonchu. Nonchu forces the heal out of Raz. Raz does manage to dash away as well, but Nonchu's still very low, and that is going to be a pickup onto Scud by the Jinnar. Another great pickup there. Heals and restores used all around. And that is another example of a great trade out. Actually, now 3-2 in favor. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we can see Zenial left on his own. Yep. Does manage to push this turret. Steals away the turret restore. Malok trying to get the slow on him. He doesn't have any backup right now. Yeah. But what Zenial did manage to pick up there was to steal away the turret restore. So that does allow him to push a bit more aggressively, know that is going to be up. Ormar running into Grak there in position. Grak missing that Devil's Chain. Puts him in a vulnerable position. Scud there with the level 4, does use his ultimate, doesn't actually quite connect. Still chasing down there. Heals used all around, but the team can't make up their mind which target they want. And Dominus just walk away from it quite convincingly. All members of Batman now looking for his target. He does secure it onto Raz. Batarang goes in. Malok, coming down. Does do huge damage. Great slow there on the AoE team. We see that AoE fight coming out. Jinnar now in with the ultimate. Can't get quite deep enough at this point in the game. Still everyone a little bit too squishy to get that deep, but it does drive 2-3 people back away from turret and does allow for a good chunk of damage to be put on there, and now they can head over to Abyssal Dragon, which they're not taking.
Yeah, they're not taking.
Okay. They're not going to take Abyssal Dragon.
It could be a disastrous team fight for Ninjustice there. They were going really, really low. So I think they got a pretty lucky break there. So yeah, great start from both teams. Very aggressive play so far. At the top we have Tara against Scud here.
Yeah, Tara versus Scud. You can, the good thing about Tara is obviously she does that ultimate, which gives a huge health regen. And there isn't too much hard CC with the exclusion of Grak on the side of Ninjustice, which is one of her biggest weaknesses, because if you can get her and CC her to the point where she can't utilize that ultimate, she can be bursted down if she doesn't go full tank. Scud will be pretty key in these team fights as well for the disrupt onto, we mentioned the idea of a dive composition. Scud's ultimate is one of the big key factors in pushing people apart. He senses death right now. You see the eyes above his head. Nonchu accepts his fate. Batarang is going to pick up that kill as Batman gets another kill. Batman sitting on a decent... Yeah, 3 kills with 1 assist in the early stages of the game. Really exactly where you want Batman to be. This does allow them as well to push that turret, which is already on half health. And that's going to be the first turret of the game going over to Doministas.
Yeah, and
but meanwhile...
Ninjustice will get the dragon, so that's a trade.
They will trade out objectives, and Malok is now in a vulnerable position. He may be forced to utilize his ultimate here to dash away, but no, he's okay. Yeah. He's a big devil guy with a sword. He's just comfortable to walk away. With a little bit of swag. Floydie is pushing mid lane as well on that Jinnar. We do see Ninjustice reacting to that. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see another dive.
Getting caught by Omar.
Yep, huge damage coming out from Batman again. That ultimate used to great effect, but it's not going to be enough. We do see that Zennial ult coming in for the first time. Onto then Batman getting very low there, but his team doing a great job of picking them away, and Tara keeping them at bay is going to force Omar to back off as well. Huge plays there from Doministas, and unfortunate for Ninjustice not to pick up a kill there.
Yeah, so DA seems pretty good so far, although they did manage to lose the Blizzard Dragon, the first one, but they have 1 tower down so far in this game, and it's a pretty tight game. I think both teams are very aggressive at the start, and I think it will not slow down as we progress. Oh, this bottom tower goes down as well too. They creep, and that's not a good sign for Ninjustice.
Yeah, managed to secure a second turret there. Just gives them that little bit more of a gold advantage. Now sitting at 14.6 to Ninjustice's 12. Okay, we do see Omar and Batman now trying to again isolate that Scud. They don't want him to get to a good place. Ultimate now on Batman. Batman is driving into the rest of the team by Raz. Great play there from Raz. Does pick up that kill onto Omar as well. And we do see now Matalok and Jinnar wandering around, but that's a double kill for Raz in total. Great play there, but a double kill in fact was secured by Batman before his death. Great grab there by Grak. He does manage to do a lot of damage, pull onto turret. A few turret shots in play.
But he might get into too much trouble. Oh my god, he barely survived that.
He needs to run away now. Yeah, I was going to say, he's not going to be able to save the turret. He's on the tiniest sliver of health, and in fact, the minions would probably have actually interrupted him in his back in there had Nonchu not actually appeared as Scud. So, yeah, we do see that Goldie now slowly spiraling. So this marksmanless composition working out for them, now sitting at 18 to the 14.7, so almost a 4k goal difference at the 7-minute mark. We've seen worse, we've definitely seen worse, but and it can definitely be pulled back, but the focus from the Omar and Batman has been so strong. Again, we see them going onto Zennial. Zennial utilised his ultimate there, try to keep himself alive a little bit longer if he could, but he does go down regardless, and now that is 4 members of the team focusing down onto the Injustice, and Omar does go down. Raz getting that kill as well. Big dive in from Malok, try to disrupt the enemy team as much as possible. This is Doministas' potential chance to do that. Jinnar does a lot of damage with that ultimate. Malok picking that up as well, so they do trade out a little bit on the kills there, and it does give them a lane advantage as well as they transition towards mid lane to try and push this up. There is a Violet there to manage to keep it safe, but that gold lead is creeping up and up with every single one of these team fights, so they do need to be careful now.
The story of the game so far is Batman getting so many kills and then well fed as well, so that he could carry the early to mid game as we have seen so far. So I think that's the biggest story for Doministas Astra. And Ninjustice struggling with all those DPS coming at them. They do have a couple of squishy heroes like Raz and Valor. So it seems like the melee base composition is working very well, and they managed to get the Dark Slayer as well.
Yeah, I mean the melee composition. If the enemy team has a lot of peel, I think that's why the Scud was picked up. The ultimate being used to kind of drive the enemy team apart, so they can't utilize their ultimates as effectively. But like I said, they've focused Scud down pretty hard in these early stages. The Batman Omar composition has been really great, and like you said, they've done a really good job of making sure that Batman is securing the kills. You've seen a lot of times where, if you'd have seen this in solo queue, you'd have seen an Omar jumping on them to try and pick up that kill. we do see a death brush put in place by Ninjustice there. They were all hanging around that bush. They're not going to manage to get anything. Grak does manage to get a grab, but it's onto Malok, not the ideal target. Ultimate does come down. Malok re-engages. Batman now coming in. Huge ultimate from Batman. That does drive everyone in. Grak ultimate did do a lot of work there, and those turret shots are starting to add up. Scud doing what he can as well to try and get this Ormar down. But now let's... Ooh, that is they're all so very low. Ninjustice doing what they can, but as Tara now diving in, getting very aggressive, but she is on her own as the rest of the team focus down that turret and play the objective game. Oh, big dive in from Batman, does pick up another kill. Double kill going onto that Batman, and guys is why you make sure triple kill. That's why you make sure that Batman does not get fed. Scud with the ultimate there does push the enemy Tara back onto turret, and they are going to die to the Raz. That is a small savior in that team fight, but that did not go in Injustice's favor at all.
That Batman is on 9 kills so far. way ahead of everyone, but Raz does have 6 kills, but it doesn't really matter. His team is falling apart. They are they are left with the 3rd tier tower in their base, and yeah.
I do think that Injustice can. They just need to win a really good team fight and utilize it well. Yeah. The problem they're having is that Doministas have done a great job throughout this of lane control also. You know, it's very rare that you've seen the lanes past halfway towards the Doministas side, the blue side. So they've managed to keep all lanes pushed so that if they do win a team fight, objective quite comfortably. But like right now, you can see that the team are not engaging just yet. But you've got Malok pushing that lane, and they're doing a good job of not fighting 4 versus 5. If they are fighting, it's a pick in the jungle. And the Ormar Batman composition, as far as picks, has been great. As far as keeping Scud down, as keeping Zennial down. You know, gold difference wise, you know, we're seeing 2-3k differences on some just from one hero to another as far as some of the team, which is, you know, is an item, is 2 items potentially. So they've got to be very careful in these fights here, and I think the Injustice just need to, like I said earlier, slow it down, try and get themselves into a good place. Raz has got a lot of kills and has been playing absolutely great on that Raz. He's been diving in and out, he's been keeping himself in a safe position for the most part. Well, he's got 0 deaths, so yeah, he's looking pretty good right now, and if they can get into that, they can. But Nonchu is, again, vulnerable. It's not tanky enough. And that is a good example of what I was talking about. Scud, he was doing the exact right thing, but not for his itemization right now. If he was tankier and this was 2 items down the line, he could have survived long enough to get out of him off and get some picks. But versus the enemy team composition and how fed they are, he dived in and he was deleted like he was a mage before he got a chance to do anything. Good focus here coming in from Doministas, does allow them to pick up the thing. Ultimate from Grak is going to pick up at least 1 kill. Jinnar with the ultimate. Raz, again, legendary, does manage to do what he can, but he is going to go down in the process. Onslaught from Batman now does pick up the Grak there, and the Injustice team are forced to play extremely defensively. Scud diving in, doing what he can, but again, he's still really squishy at this stage. Jinnar ultimate is back up and is going to be used to help defend Doministas as they pull themselves back. We don't have a Slayer up for grabs right now, so we keep these lanes pushing pressure. Wow, Doministas are doing great.
11,000 goal difference between these 2 teams so far. Seems like Ninjustice will need a miracle to win this match. But this is a best of 3 games, so this is just game number 1, and they do have another chance to try to level things up in the next game. But this game is not over yet. Ninjustice, if they try to be patient, try to win important team fights later on in this game, they might still be able to come back. But it seems very highly unlikely.
It's going to be tough for Injustice, but it's not impossible. You know, we know how arena. It can sometimes just take the you know, you win in 1 or 2 team fights, a small itemization change, and suddenly everything clicks, and you know, your team band together and you can push and pressure. We saw a lot of situations where there was backdoors or just two turrets and core taken. You know, in the MPT even. That, you know, so it's perfectly feasible, but I think what needs to happen is we need to see a good grab onto Batman. If they delete Batman, they're going to get it. But now that with the last front turret going down, or high tower going down, they are going to be in a little bit of a vulnerable position. Scud is diving in, doing exactly what he can, but there's no follow-up. Oh, there's the Zenio ultimate. That's what they were looking for. Scud, but it's come a little bit too late. Jinnar, meanwhile, stood in the middle of all of them with that Orma. That's a double kill for Jinnar. And now going under turret versus the Violet is Tara. Tara trying to do what
this
she
is going to
can.
be the first
Pick up
ace
kill,
of the
and
game.
It's going to be an ace, and it is going to be the ace that allows them to win the game by the looks of it. With that length of time on the timers, I don't think there's a possibility for them to come back. And that is going to be GG. Well played to
well played.
Doministus.
Doministus Astra dominated that game. What a game by DA. They have shown how it's done against Ninjustice. But this is game 1 of the best of 3 of the winners bracket finals. And we have game 2 coming right up very soon. And yeah, just stick around.